bike when a parent flew through the stop sign, hitting and killing her. Now, the sheriff says he's heard hundreds of complaints over the summer from parents saying that more eyes need to be on the kids, alerting them and drivers. But he says now he needs those parents and community members to step up and volunteer to be part of the solution.
You don't have to do it every day of the week, but if you get 5 or 6 parents and somebody takes morning and somebody takes afternoons.
I mean, what does the time constraint even look like? It sounds like it'd be like an hour in the morning during drop-off.
An hour in the morning, and it's an hour in the afternoon, and the training is about 8 hours.
Sheriff Chitwood says his team went to all Volusia schools' parent-teacher associations asking for volunteers right before school started.
So I figured this would be great. We would get great participation. Well, a lot of people don't think that because we have one person who volunteered.
Now, you might be wondering, what about the crossing guards? Now, here in Volusia County, there's a budget for 115 crossing guards. Then an engineering study is done to determine where each crossing guard should go outside of each school. And this driveway with the stop sign where the accident happened at this school technically does not meet the criteria for a crossing guard.
There are other places that parents think there should be that doesn't meet that criteria. So if you feel that strongly about it, and you can get the volunteers to do it, we'll train you and you can cover those areas.
I talked to parents in Port Orange who personally work during pickup and drop-off hours, but hope others who may not work in the community during that time can help out.
You outside, watching your kid walk to the school, just stand outside for a little bit longer and watch the rest of the kids get.
Now, anyone in the community can volunteer, and the sheriff's office will train you. You just have to be able to pass a state background check similarly to if you were volunteering in the actual school. You can find all the information on how to apply on our website, clickorlando.com. Just look for this story. In Port Orange, Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, getting results, News 6.
I have often wondered about that, like if they just can't hire enough people, if maybe parents would volunteer just to make sure the kids are safe getting to school.
Yeah, and if the parents have the time, and a lot, some of them, or even grandparents even. Because grandparents are, these aren't your grandparents, these are like vibrant
good
people
shape.
who are better shape than us.
They beat me at pickleball all the time.
Yeah, that part.
This is true. All right, time to get a check of that weather. Normally this time of night, where somebody's getting battered by some storms, we're hearing some lightning rumble. I guess thunder would rumble, not the lightning. I knew as I was going to you and I said that, I'm like, he's going to.
I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Don't worry, I was here for you.
Thanks, Ginger. We do have one lone thunderstorm. It's hanging out in southern Osceola County where it says Wednesday. That's where we have it. So it's closer to us in Yehai Junction, south of Kenansville. Couple of thunderstorms. So it's way down there. This green little line that you see on the screen, that's something we call an outflow boundary. The radar's picking up some of the rain, cooled air, the leading edge, some dust or dirt being kicked up on that. So sometimes they show up. So we're going to watch for maybe a few more thunderstorms to get going over the next hour or two and then blow back towards the Atlantic. We did have some earlier thunderstorms around Palm Coast for us in Bunnell, Marineland, Daytona Beach. That has since ended. So we're going to be watching that over the next couple of hours. Most of us, though, are going to be dry and still relatively comfortable for Florida standards. Yes, the humidity is starting to creep back, but nonetheless, we are seeing things get a little more back into the typical Florida standards for comfort anyway. That's exactly what I was talking about. Future rain through about 10 o'clock or so, blowing everything off of the Atlantic coast. We're going to talk much more about where we go from here. In terms of the humidity and rain chances, they are going back up to where they should be for this time of the year, guys. We're going to pinpoint that in about 10 minutes.
Jonathan, thank you. Get pinpoint weather on the go, and you can use live interactive radar with our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Search WKMG in your app store.
In less than half an hour, the Lake Mary All-Stars will continue their quest to bring the state of Florida its first ever Little League World Series title. First pitch of Game 3 is at 7 against a team from Texas representing the Southwest.
All right, so if you're just tuning in or joining us here on Earth, the team from Lake Mary played their first game last Wednesday, beating a team from South Dakota representing the Midwest. And on Friday, they defeated a team from Washington State representing the Northwest 6-1. That was a big game. Now, that was a strong victory for the team, secured by J.J. Feliciano's solo home run in the 6th inning. And it gets better for this kid because JJ's mom was able to get her hands on that home run ball thanks to News 6 anchor Justin Wormett. As you know, Justin has been traveling with that team in Williamsport. On Friday, he rushed to get the ball from a security guard and deliver it to JJ's mom, along with a big old high five.
And anchor Justin Wormett joins us now live from Williamsport. The game just 25 minutes away. Justin, that had to be a special moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Matt, I know what it's like to not be a mom, but know that my mom was such a big baseball mom, and to have a baseball, especially hitting a home run here at Williamsport, Pennsylvania at the Little League World Series, you just got to do it. I mean, it's just that I didn't have to think twice about it, so I really was happy about that. JJ's right there. He is the starting pitcher tonight. As you can take a look, he's getting warmed up to be on the bump against this team from Bernie, Texas. And this team from Bernie, Texas can hit. They scored 9 runs in their only game that they've played so far. They hit 3 home runs, but they did not face a guy like J.J. Feliciano. He had 11 strikeouts in 5.2 innings the first game against South Dakota, so he is poised and he is ready to go. Now, the team, they did not have any practice or anything this weekend. They had the MLB teams in town, so they were occupied meeting and greeting the teams from Detroit, the Detroit Tigers and the New York Yankees. So they had practice this morning, and I was able to talk to the coach and outfielder, Jacob Bebo. This is such a big game. How'd you guys feel getting back on the field this morning after yesterday's fun-filled activities with the major leaguers?
Yeah, it's fun, but it was fun yesterday meeting all the MLB players, but we got to get back to work. Got to get ready for this game tonight.
How big is this game tonight for you guys?
Really big. If we win, it's going to be a really big deal.
How will you guys approach tonight? Will it be any different than what you guys have already done?
No, we're going to get hits. We're going to hit where they're not, and we're going to pitch. James is going to shove tonight, and yeah, we're going to be really good.
Big deal to have practice right now, get these guys in order. Did it take a little bit of time to get them going this morning? I mean, it's been a long weekend with no baseball. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we had a Parents' Day on Saturday, and then obviously you guys saw the MLB Day. The players came in. They said no practices. We went to the MLB game. It ran kind of late, went into extras. We got free baseball. We got home kind of late, got back here kind of late. So we woke up, practiced at 10, a little lethargic, took a little bit to wake them up, but I think we're prepared now. We're in a pretty good spot. I think this game's one of the bigger games, so we want to try to get this one.
Do you know anything about this Texas team?
We're going to kick their butt. I know that. Yeah. They're a pretty good team, but we're better.
Yeah. No one's better than you guys this year?
Nope. Nobody.
You do your job, this is over.
And we're going to win. Yep.
Love it. Gotta love Jacob Bebo. Coach just feeds me him, and he feeds me sound bites, so I love it. By the way, you're looking live right now. If you're looking for any other reason to hammer this home that this is a big deal, this family right here, a family of 6, they are friends with the catcher and the assistant coach, the dad of the catcher who is also an assistant coach. They are from the Jupiter area, Fort Pierce kind of. They drove 20 hours through the night to be here in Williamsport just to catch the game. They've got 4 kids under the age of 5. So that's got to be fun. But they did not stop throughout the night, 20 hours. They made it here just in time, and they're not stopping. They're taking in the hill, the famous hill here at Lamade Stadium. So I just love that. I had to bring that to you as well. So, yes, we're getting closer to game time. I think these boys they're confident once again. Had a chance to talk to them at the cages a little bit. They're unfazed by anything you throw their way, and they're just looking forward to once again hitting this field in front of a nationwide audience. Filling in a little bit, 14,000 at last game. We'll see what the attendance is tonight for this crucial game. The winner goes to the semifinals. Back to you guys.
Man, if you don't have friends who are driving 20 hours for you, I don't want it. I mean, seriously, that's insane. Okay, so Justin, you left last Monday, if I'm doing my math correctly, and I know we had a conversation about how you're going to pack because you didn't want to pack a bag. So you carried some clothes thinking you'd maybe be back in a few days.
Right.
But best case scenario is happening right now. What's your laundry situation looking like? Are you turning things inside out right now? What's happening?
All right, so yes, we initially prepared to be here for a week. We were going to come home yesterday. After the first game, and after seeing the sights, the sounds, and talking to everyone here and seeing the reaction back home, we said, we just need to be here until Lake Mary leaves. So that's the plan. So on Saturday, photojournalist Daniel Macaluso and myself, we did some laundry, got that done. So this is fresh. I only brought like 4 shirts, 2 pairs of pants. Those are now clean and ready to go. Now, as far as facial hair is concerned,
you don't worry about
that's
that normally anyway.
So
you let that grow wild.
No, Matt, I keep that thing nice and tight. You know I keep it nice and tight. But here's the thing. My clippers, I did not bring the charger. So Daniel and I, we found a dad who just so happens to be a barber the dad of DJ Mieses. He's the first baseman. So he cleaned me up. He gave Daniel a haircut. He also operates out of the Seminole Town Center. So I might have to go back to him as this tournament progresses because I gotta look tight. I gotta look tight.
You're representing for all of us here. That is crazy. I don't know what kind of math
right.
that is, but you took 2 pairs of pants and you thought you were going to be gone.
You don't sweat up there. It's 75 degrees. He's not sweating.
It doesn't work.
It's not smell-o-vision.
Thankfully for that,
Oh my
Justin
God,
Warman.
great
Thank you so
job.
much. He's
Thank
like the astronauts on the ISS, just trapped up there with no
I can't even
laundry.
imagine. I'd have like 10 pairs of pants already. Good grief. Okay, so the hype behind this Lake Mary Little League baseball team is real in Central Florida. Game can be as much about what happens on the field as the people sharing the moment here back home.
News 6's Catherine Silver is in Lake Mary, where the community is getting in on the all-star action.
The city of Lakes is turning into the city of Little League. Right now, Lake Mary eats, sleeps, and breathes baseball. There are fundraisers at sports bars, flyers at businesses.
A lot of people actually have really donated.
Online, donations are pouring in for the players on the diamond and the parents in the stands. So how does this community feel about their all-stars? Well, here's their messages for the boys from back here at home.
It's really, really exciting to see them representing our town and just everything. And every time they make a play, we're really excited. We're jumping off the couch.
We're so excited. We watch them every time they play. We're just watching on TV, cheering them on.
I just want to say they're doing a great job.
When you see the teams around the world and then you see Lake Mary within the list, it's very inspiring.
Does it make you proud?
Very proud.
And I'm just really proud of them, and they're putting Lake Mary on the map.
Has it been fun to see the city come together and rally behind this team?
Yes, it's very. We are very supportive of Lake Mary baseball, and we always come and watch the games here at the 4th Street.
I have 3 young grandchildren, 2 grandsons, and one of them, he's already decided he wants to try out to play baseball.
Any words of support for the boys?
Yeah, I would say trust your training. You made it here this far for a reason. Just keep doing what you're doing. We know you have great coaching, and you obviously have the fighting spirit to be there, so play your best.
We are just really excited for them, and I know that we're going to do well tonight, so we wish them good luck.
I wish them a lot of luck. Yeah, I'm sure they got this.
Go team!
And go All-Stars. Go all the way.
Good luck, guys.
In Lake Mary, Catherine Silver.
Get the World Series, bring it back.
Getting results, News 6.
I just love how everyone is behind. This is something we can all agree on.
Right? One of the few things
I know.
these days.
When does that happen?
We don't have to argue about it.
No,
We're
let's
rooting for the
not.
Lake Mary kids. And these kids are celebrities. Everybody's talking about them.
I don't know how they're
Especially
gonna go to school
the
and be
little ones
regular.
who
Yeah.
are younger than 12 or looking up to them. It's very fun to watch. Again, tonight's game is at 7 against a team from Texas representing the Southwest. First pitch is tonight, 7 o'clock. Don't miss it.
All right, let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. #1, a story about a woman who is suing Disney over what she is calling a stampede at Magic Kingdom. She says she was on Main Street in late June, right as an event was about to get started, and a large crowd trampled her. She says Disney does not adequately warn guests about the risk of a stampede. We've reached out to Disney for comment. I don't know if she's ever been to Disney on Main Street before, but that's what happens. I mean, you don't get trampled, but people are, you know, it's a sea of humanity.
How do you warn someone of a risk of stampede unless you're in Pamplona?
Yes, and running of the bulls. There you get a warning.
All right, here are some other trending stories right now over at clickorlando.com. This Publix in Central Florida has a cemetery in its parking lot. Here's why. That title kind of gives it away, but what's going on? Check out the article. Figure out how it happened coming up. And August supermoon kicks off 4 months of lunar spectacles. Here's how to watch that. As a spoiler, you can look up tonight.
I noticed the moon last night. It looked really...
I like how we tease. Here's how you can watch it.
Look up.
Like this.
Listen, Captain Obvious.
We're going to do a whole article on it.
Thank you for that.
People are clicking on it. One of the popular ones. Hey, there's so much more to see than just tonight's supermoon. The article has everything you need to know about the months to come, including a partial lunar eclipse if you're interested.
You know how I feel about the heavens.
I know.
There's so much happening.
You love staring up
I
there
love
at the
looking.
heavens,
I saw a cloud today around the sun, and it had like little rainbow lights coming from it. I'm always looking up.
Really?
You just never know what you're. I posted it on Facebook.
Oh, Ginger Gadsden staring at the sun.
It
What a
wasn't an
great
eclipse.
idea. Let's tell our Lovely viewers.
It is said to be the first commercial spacewalk, and it's launching right here from the Space Coast.
The mission will be on its way well past the International Space Station at the end of the month, coming up when 4 astronauts will be headed further than anyone since Apollo. And who is helping them get there? And later, you've likely stopped by here while celebrating a big win or just trying to beat the heat. Coming up, we'll talk to the owner of Jeremiah's Italian Ice about how this all came to life.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Cocoa, Lake Mary, and all of Central Florida. I did not stare at the sun. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, here's a live look for you now over Daytona Beach from our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera. Surf still looks a little rough out there. I know going into the weekend we were saying that it was kind of concerning, so people should swim near a lifeguard. And it looks like we're kind of seeing that, and maybe that's all due to still Ernesto out there. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. Is that still what Ernesto was
You're really studying that.
I was looking for the rip currents.
He was like this.
I was burning my eye sockets out. So Ginger, with you and with the sun, I was going right to the TV screen.
Don't look directly into the TV.
I'm the only
do
one
that
protecting
either.
my retina today.
No, I know she wasn't looking directly at the sun. We all
Thank
don't
you.
do that. Yeah, remember they said as a kid, like, don't watch cartoons too close to the TV
Yes.
it'll.
That's all I did.
You didn't listen to that?
Probably not. But we can see some rip currents out there. And yes, Ernesto's still way far away, but the ocean's still trying to settle down a little bit from being rocked around by Ernesto. Right now, we are seeing just a couple of downpours. Most of these are offshore. That storm that we were watching closer to us in Yeehaw Junction in Kenansville, that is falling apart and drifting off to the south now. So a nice clean sweep for us going forward. Couple of thunderstorms again back into the picture for the next hour or so. There's 10 o'clock tonight. Nice and quiet. Now, early tomorrow morning, we might fire things up a little earlier than normal. There's 7 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Couple of scattered downpours. We do have a weak cold front hanging tight right around the Big Bend area. Now, this one is not going to slice through and give us cooler, drier weather like the weekend, but it will help to fire off some thunderstorms early into the morning and then again through the afternoon. So that's 4 o'clock. So don't be surprised tomorrow if you're hanging out and you get wet from the storms again earlier in the day than what you would typically see on a Florida afternoon. There's 6 o'clock on your Wednesday. Things are looking pretty good. Temperatures back to the low 90s. The breeze out of the west-southwest at about 10 miles an hour. Heat index is back because the humidity is starting to climb back up. That is a live look with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam this evening as we approach 7 o'clock tonight. We're at 91 still in Claremont, 91 in Leesburg. Wildwood, we're doing all right this evening. We're back to the middle 80s, 89 for us in the Villages. It's all about that dew point, and it's back on the rise. Over the weekend, we had these numbers fall back into the 60s, so that's where we were. We were certainly still in the humid. Some of us made it into the comfortable zone. I think relatively speaking, we all felt pretty comfortable this weekend, but now we're back into the mid to even upper 70s, and that puts us into that very humid category. borderline with the tropical. That is where we should be for this time of the year. Unfortunately, that's where we stay going forward. You do see there is a little opportunity to get some drier air back in here again on Monday. We're back into the mid-70s in terms of the dew point, not the temperature. It'd be great if we were hanging out in the mid-70s, but of course that's not going to be the case. We're back to the middle 90s. Now here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Temperatures tomorrow getting back into the lower 90s around Cocoa Beach, New Smyrna Beach. Our wind direction has shifted again out of the south and west. That is pumping in the heat and humidity back to 95 in Orlando, 93 degrees in the Villages tomorrow afternoon. Williamsport, things are getting ready to get started in just a few minutes. There we go with the mostly cloudy skies. We've seen Justin dealing with that all day today. A couple of sprinkles around. Most of the steady rain that could delay the game, though, is going to be east of Williamsport, closer to Philadelphia and into the I-95 corridor. In the northeast, just a stray sprinkle hanging around as Lake Mary takes on the Texas squad. 60% shot for storms locally tomorrow. We're back in that 60% chance on Wednesday. And then it goes up from there, guys. That's what it should look like in typical summertime fashion in the state of Florida, guys.
Bring on the 91s, the rainy 91s. I will take it.
I know.
Well, the crew planning on becoming the first to conduct a commercial spacewalk has landed at Kennedy Space Center.
And as soon as next week, Polaris Dawn will launch on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon capsule further away from Earth than any astronauts have flown since the last Apollo mission.
News 6's James Sparvero is there as excitement begins to build.
It's always a pleasure riding out to the old shuttle runway to meet the astronauts when they land. You'll remember billionaire entrepreneur Jared Isaacman from the Inspiration 4 mission 3 years ago. He's back, and he's got new crew members. Scott Poteet is also a pilot with a professional background in aviation. He was in the Air Force. And then Anna Menon and Sarah Gillis are SpaceX engineers. We've made it to the runway, and the crew right now is doing flyovers. It's quite spectacular. Well, that entrance was amazing. Now they brought us inside this hangar where the crew's about to give opening remarks, and then I'll have a chance to ask a question.
It's been a really exciting journey of development and training. You know, we're the 4 lucky ones that get to go on this ride, but I can't tell you how many teams have been working nonstop for the last 2.5 years.
Hey everybody, I'm James. I'm from Channel 6. I'm a local reporter here in Cape Canaveral. I was wondering for Anna and Sarah, from your early days of working on developing Dragon, did you always want to fly on it too? And is your confidence in your spacecraft why you're willing to take the risk of going to space? Thank you.
I think for me, I dreamed of going to space from a very young age, but I've also just been so happy and grateful to contribute to it in any way.
I think Anna and I can both agree that you spend a huge amount of your job pretending to be an astronaut and thinking through what they would care about. I know exactly what goes into the testing and the design and the rigor behind absolutely everything in the spacecraft. So very, very excited to fly on my favorite Dragon spacecraft.
Polaris Dawn and 2 missions that will follow are named after the North Star. And fittingly, next Monday, the 26th, the crew could launch at dawn. The launch window in the morning extends from 3:30 until 7. At NASA's Kennedy Space Center, I'm James Sparvero, getting results, News 6.
James, thank you for all the latest updates on the space industry. Be sure to subscribe to our Space Coast and Beyond newsletter. James sends you the biggest stories from the Space Coast and up in orbit every Monday. Head to clickorlando.com/newsletters to subscribe.
All right, we want to give a very special shout out to the Sharing Center. We were able to MC the Share the Light gala over the weekend. Matt and I did it. It was really one of my favorite events. We did it 4 years ago, and it was such an honor. The theme was Hawaiian, which is why we're wearing leis.
Very generous crowd there. Sheriff Dennis Lima, who, man, if you've ever seen that guy talk,
my goodness,
what a charmer.
Yeah.
And it was really a nice time. The Sharing Center helps homeless people, not just feeding them or clothing them, but really trying to get them out of homelessness. So we were honored to be there.
And they also help people who are on the cusp of homelessness.
Right.
Not lose their homes or not lose their apartments, which is so great. I talked to the president and CEO, Nina Young, and I said, how much money did we raise? They had a goal of $330,000 on Saturday. So, and she's still counting because people came up with checks after they're adding. 440,000 so far.
Hey, now. All right.
So I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to help a lot of people, and there are so many generous hearts and minds in that one room. I talk to people who I know I'll be friends with for a very long time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Great group of folks there. Thanks for having us out.
All right, so we all know that feeling of needing a sweet treat after a long day, right?
Yeah, and one company here in Central Florida has been making that possible for years.
The two of us talked to the CEO of Jeremiah's Shaved Ice and find out how he came to serve the Central Florida community when News 6 at 6:30 continues. Stay with us. We're back in 2.
WKMG is hitting the road once again, this time in Melbourne, covering the stories that matter the most to the community there. But we need your help. We need you to let us know what you want us to look into, whether it's a local success story or a problem that needs to be fixed. Send us your stories by going to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Well, whether you're celebrating a win on the baseball field or looking for a cool treat to beat the heat, you've probably stopped by Jeremiah's Italian Ice. I've been there many times. Did you know the company was actually started right here in Central Florida?
Sometimes I just want to eat my feelings. So we talked to the CEO on our podcast, Florida's Fourth Estate, about how this delicious idea came to life.
I don't know how much you know about what's going on, let's say Philadelphia, right? It's like the seat of Philly cheesesteaks, right?
Right.
But it's not all that Philly's famous for. One of the things that Philadelphia is famous for is Italian ice, otherwise known as water ice. But in Philadelphia, they call it water ice.
Water.
And you have to say that the right way. Can you guys say that? Water ice.
Well, let's give it a shot. Wooder. Almost like wood. Woodier.
No, right. It's like wood. Wooder.
Wooder.
Wood. I'm doing water.
It's gotta be wooder. Water.
Water.
All right, let's pretend Ginger could say this, Michael.
Oh my God. Water ice. Okay.
No, you're still hitting it too hard, Ginger. All right, we're going to move on from you. It has to be, Matt's got it. It's water ice.
No.
Water ice.
So
Water ice.
it goes back decades in Philly, and you can wander around Philly and see some of the most epic, classic places, little holes in the wall that serve like the original Italian ice. And that's part of what inspired Jeremy. And he started messing around with water ice as early as 1988.
Did you learn how to speak yet? Water ice, eventually becoming the key ingredient at the first Jeremiah's Italian Ice, and he started it right here in
I want to see what our closed captioning is doing right
It's
now.
just gibberish, I'm sure.
It's freaking out. No, he was great to talk to, and just to see how the company has expanded in the time that it's been around. So
more than 150 stores.
Yeah, that's
now.
crazy.
All right, check out this full episode of Florida's Fourth Estate on your favorite podcast platform, as well as clickorlando.com and YouTube. It's also available right now on the News 6 Plus app for your smart TV.
All right, thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus smart TV app.
Remember, we break news at clickorlando.com. Have a great night.
I don't know how much you know about what's going on, let's say Philadelphia, right? It's like the seat of Philly cheesesteaks, right?
Right.
but it's not all that Philly's famous for. One of the things that Philadelphia is famous for is Italian ice, otherwise known as water ice. But in Philadelphia, they call it water ice.
Water.
And you have to say that the right way. Can you guys say that? Water ice.
Well, let's give it a shot. Wooder, almost like wood, woodier.
Right, it's like wooder.
Wood. I'm doing water.
Water. It's
W-A-R.
gotta be wooder.
Water.
All right, let's pretend